They set a season-best winning streak. They're going for their 10th win in a row. Twice they've already won 9 straight. But the Wallaces will tell you it's all about getting one game at a time. Good news, Carlos Delfino is back from the flu as they get ready for a rematch with the Grizzlies.
Putting us out an 11-point opening quarter. Gasol on a hard drive.
The Pistons and Grizz have already played one classic 6 weeks ago in Memphis. They went to double overtime. Chauncey Billups had 3 different chances to become the hero.
For 3. We have overtime. Rises for the win. God, he hit it with 0.3 to go. Third time's a charm for Billups.
That road win over Memphis is one of their biggest of the year. Tonight, they're back for the rematch here at the Palace of Auburn Hills, taking on the Grizzlies, and one of the marquee matchups of the night in the NBA. Hi, everybody. I'm Fred McLeod along with Greg Kelser. Certainly, we have watched with renewed vigor the Pistons' three-point shooting. It's been an incredible story all season long, led by Rasheed Wallace.
Well, Rasheed has been fantastic, and this year, I think he's doing a much better job of determining when to go outside. He's spending a considerable amount of time in that paint area, and that's good. But as an outside shooter, Rasheed Wallace is doing it within the flow of the offense. He has been steady with it, and that one right there, that was important because it really helped save them in their win last game out. Now, if you look at the numbers, you'll see Rasheed has already eclipsed by 9 his total all last year, and tonight is officially the halfway point of the season. So he's on a terrific pace right now.
And all-star consideration for Sheed is intensifying. We'll get into that in the broadcast, but certainly he gets that notoriety and that possibility of getting to the All-Star game also because of his defense, and he'll have to guard Pau Gasol tonight.
Well, Pau Gasol also having a fantastic year. Pistons already aware of what he can do, 32 points the last time he faced them. He comes into this game tonight off of a 30-point outing and a 20-point blowout of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, look at Pau Gasol and his variety of ways to score. He can put it on the floor and get inside and dunk on anybody. He's also available off of Memphis penetration, and he has a trusty jump shot. So he's one of those multifaceted guys that if you're not careful, you look up at the end of the game, it's another 30 points from Gasol.
All-star consideration, too, for Pau Gasol, as he is having perhaps his best all-around year in the NBA. In the last hookup between these two teams, Tayshaun Prince was hot early en route to 20 points. He'd love to pick up where he left off in that much-needed win over the Memphis Grizzlies. Get set for a heck of a matchup. It's coming up next on FSN Detroit. Pistons basketball on FSN Detroit is brought to you by Rock Financial. Call the mortgage experts at 800-333-ROCK. By Dodge, you can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. By Sprite and Thirst, reminding you to obey your thirst. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Another sellout crowd here at the Palace of Auburn Hills. 106 in a row as they take on the Grizzlies here on a Friday night as the Pistons try to sweep this season series. For the Grizzlies tonight, at the point, Bobby Jackson in for Damon Stoudemire, who's out for the rest of the year. Eddie Jones, the 2. Lorenzen Wright, Pau Gasol, and Birmingham native Shane Battier up front for the Grizzlies. Mike Fratello in his first full season at the helm. Still one heck of a coach in this league. Has 61% winning percentage over a year plus. Now for the Pistons starters, let's let them introduce themselves.
Chauncey Billups, University of Colorado.
Richard Rip Hamilton, Coatesville, Pennsylvania.
Tayshaun Prince, Compton, California.
Sheed Wallace, University of North Carolina.
Ben Wallace, Virginia Union University.
And, of course, their head coach, Flip Saunders, with that gaudy 35-5 record. He says he loved the comparison with the Tigers, but he says, remember what they did in 1984. They won it all, and that's, of course, how this team will be measured in 05-06. On the sidelines tonight is our own Ryan Field. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, Fred, you talk about 35-5. The Pistons are now officially halfway to the magical 70-win mark. Only one team in NBA history, of course, has reached that illustrious plateau, the 95-96 Chicago Bulls. Pistons assistant Ron Harper was a member of that team. I asked him, Ron, when did you first start thinking about 70 wins? He said, Ryan, honestly, we didn't start thinking about it till win 65. I said, well, have you talked about 70 wins with this group? He said, not yet. I said, when will that happen? He says, when we get to win 65. Fred, at this point, that could be at mid-March.
Absolutely, at this pace. As they seemingly are unbeatable right now, although Houston gave them quite a run here, as well as the Milwaukee Bucks the other night. As the Pistons getting everybody's best right now. Detroit wins the tap, and here we go. Glad you're aboard here on FSN Detroit. Bobby Jackson, a good defender on Billups. High screen from Rashid. Hamilton looked inside, threw it away. Off Battier. Here comes Jackson, who wants to push it. Lead feed to a cutting Eddie Jones to finish the break.
You know, Memphis doesn't score a ton of points, about 92 a game, but they get as many as they possibly can on the fast break. They love to push it. So if you're the Pistons, taking care of the basketball tonight, as all nights, very important.
In fact, the Grizzlies 27th in the league in that scoring mark. Boy, they hang their hat on this end of the floor. Tayshaun backing down Battier. The fadeaway for two. Be nice to see Tay get off the schneid here tonight. And a good start. Gasol on the baseline move. And he put it in.
That's the thing that's so tough about Gasol. You know, you can force him away from the basket, but he has the ball handling ability to get closer. So defending him, you've got your work cut out.
Here comes Sheed in the post. Turning on Gasol as the chant of Sheed goes up. The fall away. Missed it. Rebound to Eddie Jones. Jones, you may recall, in that battle with Detroit last month, turned an ankle late in the ball game. Couldn't finish. And that may have hurt the Grizz in the double overtime loss. Gasol again. Gave it up. Bobby Jackson tees it up for three. And strokes it.
Bobby Jackson will get the basket, but that was Paul Gasol because the Pistons were thinking help. So soft defense on Bobby Jackson, and he was able to stick it.
So Memphis starts it out 7-2, making their first three shots. Battier, you know he's a good defender. Hassling Tayshaun Prince, and a result, the turnover.
Okay, Gasol is going to get the ball posting up. Now watch Bobby Jackson. He'll come and stand right about there. Now, look at the Pistons right here. Rip and Chauncey both thinking help. A lot of area to try to cover to get back out to Jackson. It's not going to happen. That was all set up because of the respect that they have for Gasol.
And it's rare for the Pistons to give up that kind of open three-point lead. Let's check the game plan from my partner, brought to you by Dodge.
Well, Paul Gasol is right there at the top, and the Pistons are going to want to pound him and be physical with him and not let him have his way in the half court. And then you've got to get back. We talked about the way they like to run. Getting back against the Grizzlies is very important to locate the shooters because they are good three-point shooters and they'll do it in transition. And then because the Grizzlies are a good defensive team and they love to collapse into that paint area, if you're the Pistons, you may want to explore multiple options on your half-court sets.
Who's your choice for the McDonald's Player of the Game? Simply call our toll-free line anytime during the broadcast. Place your guess. If yours is the first to match our selection to win a $25 McDonald's gift card and great FSN apparel. So let's see how the Pistons respond out of this 22nd timeout. Gasol, pick the handoff. Now on the drive, couldn't lose Sheed. Tough shot. Rashid with good defense stayed on the floor. That is an El Primo matchup, boy, between those two guys. Ben Wallace, a down screen for Rip Hamilton, firing over Eddie Jones. Out of bounds, and it belongs to Memphis. Jones, too, a solid defender still at this stage of his career, at the age of 33. Almost 3 minutes in. Jackson turned the corner. The dump off to Lorenzen Wright.
Well, Jackson has the ability to get inside. And usually when he goes inside, he's looking to finish for himself. That time he drops it off. He's a different dilemma than Damon Stoudemire, but tough nonetheless.
Billups turned the corner. Flipped it inside to Ben. Patiently puts it up, and he was fouled. High and low. And Battier got the foul, tumbling into him.
Yeah, Bobby Jackson, so very important now that they're without Damon Stoudemire, who's injured. But there he's able to turn the corner. Ben comes over for help side, forces him to give it up, but Bobby Jackson's smart with the dish.
Jackson finally healthy, had a hamstring pull earlier this year, but he lost big parts of 3 straight seasons with Sacramento. But still very quick. A much better three-point shooter than he was when he played for Flip Saunders as a member of the T-Wolves. And missed them both. So it is still 9-2. Pistons could use a stop and a quick, easy bucket. Little pick and roll action. Gasol darts inside. Ran on the room. Eddie Jones wide open tee up. It's off. Rebound, Rasheed Wallace. Up top. T-shot! On the money from Rip.
Well, it's good to get that down because the Pistons needed something easy. They've been struggling a little bit with their half-court attack, so maybe that loosens things up. And Tayshaun now with the first 4 points for Detroit.
That was a heck of a pass. Eddie Jones dumped it off. Lorenzen Wright nursed it. Rebound Bennett. Wright can hit that shot. He had 3 of those against Detroit in that meeting last month.
That all? Seemed like more.
Yeah, I know. Quick early start in that game. Billups to Rasheed. Rebound long into the corner. Off Battier to Jackson. 9-4 Grizzlies with the ball. Battier loves to shoot the corner ball. Missed that one. Rebound to Billups. Billups gave it up. 9 to shoot. Prince airs out a 3. Another one goes out of bounds.
Tayshaun Prince right now as we speak running hard on the left wing. And Richard Hamilton throwing it up there right on stride for him. Easy catch and finish to an unsuspecting Memphis team that hates to give up fast break baskets. They love to make you have to work out of the half court.
That ground level view you saw right there was from our viewpoint. I didn't think Rip would be able to get through that traffic, but he certainly did. To show you how tough that pass was to throw.
Well, you know what? When you're catching an alley-oop, you can throw a really high pass and not necessarily an accurate pass, though that was both. But if you've got a running start as Tayshaun Prince had to the basket, you're going to have extra hops to get up there and get it wherever it is.
On a switch, Sheed picked it up. Jackson, Gasol, and he walked.
Yeah, that's a foul.
Now they're saying a foul.
Offensive foul on number 16.
He pushed off. It was so blatant, I think it stunned all 3 officials because this was a late call. Look, get out of here, Chauncey. And right about now, the whistle's blowing. It was late, but it was accurate.
They caught it. On the back cut, Billups spins it up, no. Back tap by Bennett, keeping the possession alive. Rip floats, missed it. So early on, shooting a problem for the home team. They're 2 of 8. Memphis, meanwhile, has knocked down 4 of 8. Jackson forced that one. Hand in his face from Chauncey. Good closing D. Hamilton on the push. Battier stayed on the floor. Didn't go for that ball fit. Tay on the back down. And the hook. And some rough stuff between Ben Wallace and a double foul called by Dick Pavetta on Wallace and Lorenzen Wright.
Just to set the tone of how this game is going to be played, the veteran Dick Pavetta going in there, giving both players the double foul call. But Tayshaun Prince now with all 6 points for the Pistons, and Memphis that time never thinking about helping him as he backed down on Battier. Tayshaun Prince able to get right under the hoop with that strength of his.
Look at the battle position between Prince and Gasol. Eddie Jones put on the floor and a blocking foul on Richard Hamilton. Fast-paced start for the Memphis Grizzlies early on, but the Pistons getting their rhythm back now with the aid of the alley-oop a la Special K. Well, the Pistons trailing the Memphis Grizzlies here 9-6. But Tayshaun Prince, who's shot 34% the last 5 games, starting to get it going, Greg.
Yeah, and backing in on a single defender, Shane Battier. I want to point out that in the old days, teams didn't double in the post much. Why? Because look at this, 3, 4, 5, 6. He gets 5 dribbles, Tayshaun Prince against 1 defender to improve his position on the floor and ended up at point-blank range. That's why teams double now versus the old days when they didn't. You give a guy 5 dribbles, he's going to score on you, Fred.
Even though Battier at 6'8" is a good defender, does that tell you that Tate thinks he can use his length against him?
Oh, I think so, and Battier knows it. He's going to have to get help if this continues.
They go to Gasol. Putting it on the deck a lot more these days, as he does again. Sheet stayed home one more time. Eddie Jones a runner. The pass to Battier. Missed it. Shane will normally hit that shot. Coming up on 5 minutes to play here in the opening quarter. Hamilton on the drive. Fulton misses. Rebound Gasol. Eddie Jones slow to get up. Battier lost the handle. Somehow the possession is alive. It's Ben Wallace on Gasol this time. Gasol couldn't move. Ben, tough foul on number 3. Slams the ball in disgust. Bill Kennedy peers at him. Delay of game. Not a technical foul on Ben for bouncing the ball out of bounds.
Part of being a good defender is anticipating where the guy you're defending wants to go. Ben guesses right, but maybe not in time enough. Ben thinks he was there in time, but the official giving the call to Gasol. You know, another thing that's different today than in the past, the amount of tape and video that teams have on opponents. I mean, it's a wonder you can get anything done because everybody knows your tendency.
Everybody knows your plays.
Yep.
And that's a big part of why, you know, the defensive numbers have been such over the last 5 years. But that's the beauty of watching this Pistons ball club. They're up markedly offensively. A testament to Flip Saunders' offense. As the Pistons are averaging 100 points a game coming in. 11-6. Sheet facing up, giving some space. Lost the handle. Maybe he would say it's a pass to Rip. And it's going to be a Memphis foul as Richard Hamilton split the D.
You know, I mentioned the strength of Tayshaun Prince earlier. Well, Richard Hamilton, slightly built, lean, but still deceptively strong. He can move some people. He can get places on the floor because he too has a degree of strength that, you know, it's tough to deal with when he has the basketball.
And remember when the trade was made for Jerry Stackhouse, there were 2 questions about Rip. 1, could he play defense? And 2, with his body, would he be able to withstand, you know, a full season and really remain healthy?
Well, he's answered those questions.
Sure has.
Yeah.
And then some. Joe Dumars, of course, had the foresight to see what Rip could do. And a lot of people at first may have questioned the deal. Not anymore. Gasol one-on-one again. The bump. And a bucket. That time to his left.
Remember what we said about Gasol. Pushing him out away from the basket oftentimes isn't good enough. You've got to figure out a way to get him to pick his dribble up before he gets into that paint area.
Billups for 3. Off a tall screen from Sheet. First bucket for Chauncey Billups. His second shot. Cuts it to 2. Gasol. Zip pass to a good catching Eddie Jones. Line driver goes for 2. 15-11.
Think he's underrated throughout his career?
I think so.
I do too.
Not by players and coaches.
Sometimes if you're not really flamboyant, you don't get all the credit you deserve. Eddie Jones is solid.
Billups had to change shot to a pass because of the defense. Antonio McDyess has checked in for Detroit. For Ben Wallace. Jackson spinning into a pass. Good decision. Lorenzen Wright tried to finish, and he was fouled. So the Memphis native, Lorenzen Wright, will shoot a pair here. He flips on his old team, the Minnesota T-Wolves, led by Kevin Garnett. And now Ricky Davis come to the Palace for their only visit. First 10,000 fans receive a rally towel. Get your tickets tonight by calling 248-377-0100. Wally Serbiak going to Boston in that multiplayer deal. Mike Miller checks in. He has played very, very well of late for Memphis. Pistons will have to be constantly watching where he is. A definite deep threat. So a couple of misses by Wright. Still 15-11. Tayshaun, nice little reverse cut. Missed a dunk though. McDyess controlled it enough that it went off Mike Miller. And the Pistons will keep it. Tay would love to have that one back, but it was a cute move to get himself inside. You know he doesn't miss those very often. Back in a moment. Well, the Pistons with a sluggish start offensively, but got to credit Memphis for a lot of that, as they're down 4 here early on. Well, remember, back earlier this season, Chucky Atkins, a member of the Washington Wizards, knocked down 4 trays as he single-handedly brought the Wizards back against his former team. He eventually fouled out and got some love from his former teammate, Chauncey Billups, saying, way to go. And then a standing ovation for Chucky from the Palace crowd. What a show of class for the former Piston. Had 20 points that night, and eventually the Wizards won that game in double overtime, knocking down 6 of 7 trays. And why do we show you Chucky Atkins? Well, he's back again tonight, still wearing blue, but this time with the Memphis Grizzlies, and we'll certainly see him here in the first half.
Talked to him before the game. He says, hey, would have loved to have been able to return to the Piston organization, but feels that this is his best shot to join a team that plays together and a team that has a chance to do some damage in the playoffs. He's looking forward to it.
Tayshaun, the pass stolen by Mike Miller. Miller gets it back. He can really run the floor, and he was fouled.
You talk about a guy who comes in looking to score. He'll challenge for the 6th Man of the Year award this year. Already the Rookie of the Year a few years back, coming out of Florida earlier. But Mike Miller has been very important to the Memphis Grizzlies. And again, we talk about a team that challenged to score, 92 a game, but will try to push it. Try to get as many easy opportunities as they can. We were able to exploit the Pistons at the full court that time. You know, you got to be careful the shots you take. You got to be careful taking care of the basketball, because all of that will feed a team that's looking to go full court on you.
So you saw Chucky Atkins checking the ball game, and a nice hand from the crowd as he was introduced. McDyess, open look, and he sticks it. So Dice gets the field goal. The second field goal for Detroit from someone other than Tayshaun Prince. It's 18-13.
You know whose fault it was that Chucky went off against Washington, right?
Who's that?
I'll remind you.
Okay. Eddie Jones fires. Rebound, Sheed in tough traffic. Under 2 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Billups. Healthy 3, Sheed. Down!
Well, prior to the game, Rasheed was standing in that very spot. He and Ron Harper, assistant coach Ron Harper, just firing up shot after shot after shot from that very spot. He rarely missed. That's like a free throw for him.
We showed you that on a recent telecast, how they go after each other in the pregame from 28 feet. Gasol was fouled by Rasheed Wallace.
You may think that this is Rasheed's first shot of the game, but it's actually probably his 25th shot of the night from that very spot. He spends a lot of time practicing that prior to the game, and Chauncey set it up beautifully. Long way for Gasol to come and recover. Couldn't do it.
Continues to shoot over 40% outside the arc. And on pace to set a personal record for most threes in a season. Career head-to-head, Sheed has the edge so far, and it goes back to his Portland days. But points, dead even. Field goal percentage, virtually even. That shows you what a good matchup this is, as we talked about at the top of the telecast. Carlos Arroyo now at the point for Detroit, taking over for Billups. And Atkins a reach-in foul.
Okay, I mentioned that Chucky went off in that game. Yes, he did. But the guy who was responsible right there, Carlos Arroyo. Remember, Carlos did that globetrotter-like move on Chauncey, undressed him in front of everybody with the ball-handling wizardry? Well, right after that, Chucky got excited about playing and really put it to the Pistons. He was embarrassed by Carlos in that stretch.
That lit his fire, that's for sure. Inside Sheed, slapped across the arm by Brian Cardinal, who's just checked in. Activated for tonight's game. Former Piston. Fighting the injury bug with his knee, coming off surgery. So Sheed with a couple. Remember, Memphis came in here last year and absolutely torched the Pistons. They were celebrating near the timeline, doing chest bumps.
And you didn't like it.
It wasn't one of my most fond memories of last season. But, you know, hey, when a team lights it up on the road as they did, I guess they deserve to celebrate.
Yeah, I remember that. Bonzi Wells was a member of Memphis at that time.
It's not like they were celebrating and said, McLeod, you stink. You know, I just took it personally. 20-18. But the Pistons got even in December at their place, and now try to give them another reminder here tonight. Cardinal inside the arc. Brian Cardinal. That's the improved part of his game since he left Detroit. 22-18. Look at Rip on the baseline, chased by Jones. We've seen those moves just a few times before. Sheed off the glass, short. McDyess alive, but he couldn't save it. Atkins down the floor to cutting Mike Miller. Good passing to Gasol.
That was a picture-perfect fast break, and it occurred because the Pistons spent a lot of time going for an offensive rebound, and when Memphis finally got the defensive rebound, they were ahead of the Pistons already with numbers.
So Gasol has 10 points in the opening quarter. Memphis by 6. Jones fell down, slow to get up again. Rip tries a three. Got it! He's the NBA leader at 51% outside the arc. 24-21. Final seconds ticking away the quarter. Atkins, a three ball that goes awry, and that will finish a good first quarter for Memphis, and the Pistons just hanging in there till they get their offensive rhythm back as they trail by 3. They came into this ball game looking to pick up home win number 19 and all the good karma that goes with it, and even do better than those 84 Tigers and go 36-5. 12 minutes in the books. Pistons down 3. You're watching Pistons basketball on FSN Detroit.
Ryan Field back here with you at the Palace, where the Grizzlies lead the Pistons 24-21 as we get set to start the second quarter. You Pistons fans, you don't want to miss the Detroit Sports Report after the game. All Piston coverage all the time. It starts with Flip Saunders' post-game press conference. I'll be live in the locker room getting all the player reaction, plus we'll have other NBA highlights from around the league tonight. All that more after the game on your Detroit Sports Report. Brett?
All right, Ryan, let's get ready for the second quarter now. Reese Evans, who has played so well during this winning streak, checks in. He has really been energizing this ball club off the bench. He's up front with Rasheed Wallace and Antonio McDyess. It's a Hamilton Arroyo backcourt. Mike Fratello counters with Chucky Atkins at the point. Alongside Mike Miller up front, Gasol, Cardinal, and Battier. Brian Cardinal on the dribble drive, lost the ball. And the Pistons come up with it. Off the turnover. Up top again, Mo Evans, pretty deep. Still scored on a beautiful reverse.
Helps to have hops. And the nice thing about that, he knew that he wasn't going to be able to catch it in the air. So he made himself strong underneath the basket. Under control, most importantly.
And then Mo comes up with a steal.
Man, that's the way to come off the bench, young fella.
Rip almost turned it over. Look at McDyess battle for it, and a loose ball. And it's going to be a foul on Memphis.
Okay, let's take a look at Maurice Evans running that Tayshaun Prince left lane. And he's going to get the pass. Alley-oop to think of initially, but knowing that he wasn't going to be able to convert that in the air, he caught it, gathered his strength, became strong underneath, and then there's the elevation in the crowd.
He made that look easy, and it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Arroyo faked the pass. Lost Atkins for a moment. Nice entry feed to Sheed. McDyess and a foul, couldn't get it to go.
Detroit getting offensive rebound opportunities here. Memphis not the greatest defensive rebounding team in the league.
Chucky Atkins, inadvertent shot to the chops of Carlos Arroyo, who felt it, but a foul on Carlos. That's a tough foul with your lips.
Yeah, and then, you know, insult to injury here. Look, there's the elbow, inadvertent, but I mean, Carlos took it. He got it.
Yeah, that was just missed. So Carlos keeps his cool. Now they're saying no foul.
Really?
Inadvertent whistle? Well, that's better than a foul, I guess, on Carlos.
Yeah.
Atkins turned the corner. Bullet feed to Gasol. Spinning. Good defense by Sheed. Starting to figure out Gasol now. McDyess wants it in the post against Carden. Rip fires. Yes, sir. Rip with 7. He's now 2 for 5, and the Pistons have their first lead. They were down 7. Rip saw that pass coming. Arroyo. Good look. Couldn't get it to go. Hamilton on the offensive board. McDyess, same spot. Rebound Evans, out of bounds, and it belongs to Memphis.
Here we go. Rip Hamilton moving without the basketball. Gives it up to Antonio McDyess. Sends Mike Miller going the other way. We talk about anticipating on defense. Sometimes you can over-anticipate, and if you've got a good guy at reading that, and Rip is one of the best, he'll make you pay.
He really is Reggie Miller all over again. As Reggie calls him Mini-Me, I mean, he's so crafty. Miller, no looked it inside. Unnecessary pass at the feet of Lorenzen Wright. And Mike Fratello not happy now with the turnovers piling up for his club. Saying 4 turnovers in the last 4 possessions. And they've all come in this quarter. A 7-0 Pistons spurt as a result. Hamilton, catch and shoot for 2. Rip's got 9. 27-24.
Right now running Mike Miller all over the place, and that's good because you take some of the steam maybe out of Mike Miller on the offensive end. They can expend all that energy chasing you.
So Mike Fratello forced to call a timeout as the Pistons certainly making their presence felt on the defensive end, or Richard Hamilton scoring 4 points. The Pistons lead by 3 in FSA. Well, the fan voting for the All-Star game is closed. Richard Hamilton hoping the Eastern Conference coaches will make him an All-Star. He feels this way about his performance.
I don't have to say it. You know, I think my play speaks for itself. Our team's success speaks for itself. You know, if you look at my numbers, if you look when I'm shooting, my percentages, and, you know, playing both ends of the floor, that speaks for itself. There's no need for me to go out there and say why I should be an All-Star. You know, as long as we continue to win games, good things will happen for me and everybody on this team.
Yep, it's all part of being 35-5 and getting the notoriety for your all-around play. You've got to believe in the coaches will make Rip an All-Star going to Houston. Misfires, follows on his own miss, though. Rebound, Mo Evans. Third jump shot that's going over the backboard for Detroit. Dick Bavetta in to call a jump ball, I believe. Maurice Evans against Shane Battier. Evans giving up 3 inches in this jump.
Once again, one of the knocks on this Memphis team, not the greatest defensive rebounding team. So Detroit can get some second chance opportunities. But if you're Detroit, you got to do it smartly. and still make it down the other end, because if you don't come away as you work on the offensive glass, you open it up for Memphis to beat you in the full court.
Got to get the jump circle set. Oh, Evans at 6'5". Let's see how he does here. He won the tap. He is a quick leaper. Spread floor. Ben Wallace on a high screen. Arroyo steps into a 20-footer, knocks it down. 29-27 Detroit. Arroyo knows, and he, of course, had read some of the stories that Chucky Atkins wanted to come back after he was released by Washington. Miller fires, misses, rebound right. Atkins says, let's run our play. Hamilton's on him right now. Miller against Arroyo. They try to back him down. Now he does. Offensive foul. Drawn by Arroyo.
Set him up beautifully. Look at this. Keep contact. And now you know you're going to get bumped again. There's no way if he keeps backing you down, you're Carlos Arroyo, you're going to be able to defend Mike Miller. So you set him up, take the bump, go to the floor, get the offensive charge call.
Good call as Carlos was squared up. McDyess held by Battier. No, it's going to be an offensive foul on McDyess, says Dick Pavetta, who had Battier's arm hooked. Dice doesn't believe it. It's his second personal.
Well, look at the battle in the post right there, and you can see sort of rooting Battier away from the defensive spot. He got the benefit of the call.
Chucky Atkins facing and scoring. He wasn't getting enough time to his liking in Washington. Asked them for a trade, and eventually they released him. Getting about 18 minutes a night for that club.
When we come back, I'll give you the rationale that Memphis used in deciding to sign Chucky Atkins.
We're tied at 29, 7:29 left. You know, the Minnesota Timberwolves going to be wanting redemption here at the Palace after the Pistons waxed them. Of course, earlier in the week, first 10,000 fans receive a rally towel. Get your tickets tonight by calling 248-377-0100.
Okay, part of the reason for getting Chucky Atkins, as you can see, 6 points a game so far this season, they felt like they could have gone Memphis to the NBDL and picked up someone who they would have to bring in maybe as the third or fourth guard. Couldn't trust that. So they said, we're going to go get a guy who, if we want him to start, we can start him. If we want him to play big minutes as a backup, shoot, we can do that as well. So they went for the experience with Chucky Atkins.
Good decision, of course, again with Damon Stoudemire out for the rest of the year with a knee injury. Knock away for Miller. Atkins on the push. Rip almost blocked it, and Atkins was able to finish it. So those two guys who were once traded for each other in the Jerry Stackhouse deal, going head-to-head. 31-29. Arroyo had it knocked away by Atkins. Toe on the line. Rebound in traffic, McDyess. An elbow he got away with, lost the basketball, and the Pistons keep it.
Well, if you're wondering perhaps why Memphis isn't a really good or a better defensive rebounding team, well, right now they're not blocking anybody out. They're allowing the Pistons to get deep underneath the basket, and then it becomes a jumping match.
Rip ready to fire, scores. He knew what he wanted to do. 31-all. 6.5 left here in the first half. Atkins making some penetration. Lorenzen Wright. Gasol on a foul.
Right now, the penetration that Chucky Atkins is getting, the penetration that Bobby Jackson got earlier, hurting the Pistons. They got to do a better job of staying in front of Memphis's guards.
Two-man game. Sheed and Hamilton. Rip split to D. Rasheed for three. Ben Wallace with the rebound.
Another offensive rebound, Fred.
Billups tees it up as a result for three. Second chance points. The bane of any head coach's existence. 7-2 in that department. Atkins again turns the corner, floats and scores.
So right now you've got Memphis doing what they do, and that's getting penetration from their guards and it paying off, and the Pistons doing what at least they're being allowed to do right now by Memphis, and that's killing the offensive glass. Which team will step up and stop the other's tendency right now?
It's going to be a hand-checking foul on Chucky Atkins.
I mean, think about it. Do you, you want to get up on Chucky and take away his three, of course, but you certainly got to be able to get back and defend and stay in front of him into that lane. Chucky still has the quickness to get in there, and his decision-making, which started as a member of the Pistons, much better when he gets into that paint area, huh?
Larry Brown loved him. He really loved the way Chucky handled the basketball. They just had to make that deal to make the Rasheed Wallace three-way deal work. Tayshaun fires, had it partially blocked by Miller. Second good defensive play by Miller. Skip feed to Atkins. Feeling it right now. Finger roll doesn't go. Rebound to Wallace. Chauncey looking for a lane for one on the right. Miller batted the ball out of bounds. And the Pistons keep it. So Flip Saunders has his inbound play call. Screen for Billups. Tayshaun out high. Evans in the post against Atkins on a switch. Rasheed fires, misses. Rebound in tall traffic to Miller. Rasheed right now 1 for 7 shooting the ball. Miller on the attack. Nice finish over Ben Wallace. He's got 7. 37-34, the determined Grizzlies. They came in 5th place in the Western Conference at 25-16. And right now, their bench outscoring the Piston reserves 16-6. Billups knuckleballed it. And he major rubber rimmed it home.
Chauncey showing that he too can get penetration and finish in the lane. That was pretty impressive. Just getting up there, not allowing it to get blocked. And then he got that kind roll.
Ball deflected by Billups. Gasol one-on-one. On a quick step inside, threw it apart. Sheed again bothered him. That's about as good as you can play defense on Pau Gasol, who's so long. Inside Sheed knocked away Bobby Jackson because of a foul. His first foul.
This is different penetration, if you will, because Chauncey does this with, strength. He gets in there, takes that little bump from Bobby Jackson, but still has the soft touch, which allows that ball to cradle and drop.
Evans posting again on a switch. Misfired. Rebound Ben on a tap after he had missed it.
That's what Mike Fratello is going to be talking about at halftime.
The Pistons offensive rebounding, you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's 7, says statistician Barry Spades. 7 offensive Piston boards already. Gasol snuck the pass into right. Blocked from behind by Ben, no foul. Blocked from behind by Ben, no foul. Sorry to repeat myself, but Ben made me do it. It's okay to stutter if Ben makes that kind of play.
Well, it happened twice.
You saw it.
Yeah, I saw it.
Up top, Tayshaun. Miller saw it coming. No look to Miller, knocked away by Sheed. Out of bounds. Still retained by the blue shirts. A couple of great shot blocks by Ben Wallace. And again, no whistle. You missed the first one, he gave it to you again. Well, the Pistons in a tight one, leading the Memphis Grizzlies 38-37 here late first half. Well, let's check the All-Star vote. This is the latest tabulation. The vote is closed. Jermaine O'Neal, though, out with a torn groin, so he won't play in the All-Star game. Ron Artest, of course, has been traded to Sacramento. So does Rasheed Wallace slide up into the number 2 spot, a starting role. That's a commissioner's office decision. And O'Neal technically was the leading vote getter for the 2nd spot when the voting closed. But everybody in the Piston Ball Club would love to see Sheed go. He has said he doesn't want to go to the All-Star game, but Flip Saunders before the game was saying he talked to Sheed about it. He says, Rasheed, it's a great honor for you. Plus, it's a reflection of the team. It's just like me getting Coach of the Month honors. I don't really necessarily want them, but it's because the team is playing so well. So stay tuned for that. But everybody in this town, of course, believes that Sheed has played like an all-star when you throw all of his numbers in and the kind of defense that he plays. Now, his competition for not only the starting spot alongside LeBron James, but probably 2 reserve positions, Chris Webber, Chris Bosh of Toronto, though Toronto's been so horrible. Might be hard for him to get in, but he's got good numbers. And, of course, Paul Pierce, a perennial all-star. So you can make a heck of a case for Sheed. The fans have known what they're doing, making him number 3 in the East. Forward voting. Step back by Eddie Jones. Tough 3.
Eddie Jones for 3.
Would you say Sheed's an all-star?
I'd like to see Sheed in the all-star game. I'd love to see him want to be there. That'd be nice.
Billups forced a momentary switch and left Rasheed open, and he nailed it right on cue.
You know,
He's
a
got 5.
A lot of fans would love to see Rasheed in the all-star game. That's a pretty hefty number of votes he got there.
And it's not just a case of a guy just not wanting to be bothered with the all-star game. He doesn't want the individual accolades. He wants it all for the team. He wants a ring. But he's played so darn well. Gasol, one-on-one with Big Ben. Nurses it up there and scores. It's a funky release, but it works.
Gasol quietly having another good game and giving the Pistons a lot of different looks. That time Ben played him softly because he is worried about him putting it on the floor going right-hand dribble.
Billups had his choices of screens from the Wallaces. Front with Ben's. Tayshaun on the drive. Nice delivery to Ben. Broke down that defense. It's 42-0. Coming up in a minute to play here in the first half. We knew this was going to be a good one. Lorenzen right to Gasol, almost walked and it blocked, but oh, there's a foul, says Dick Pavetta. Sheed made the block, but he also picked up his 3rd foul.
This is unfortunate because Gasol lost contact of the control of the basketball. He did get hacked there, but he wasn't ever going to get control enough to finish that drive.
So Sheed, in disgust, sits down. Remember, he has 11 technical fouls, so you want him to keep his cool. And Darko Milicic comes in for it. Gasol rolls in the first of 2. So Sheed is done for the remaining 107 of this half. Dale Davis, who you might think would come in here, has been fighting off the flu bug. So Darko gets the shot here. 44-42 is that Memphis lead. Eddie Jones got 2 physical defensively and picks up his 2nd personal foul. First foul in the last 2 minutes. So Richard Hamilton checks back in for Maurice Evans. That game in Memphis, the double overtime, was a beaut back in December, and we got the makings of another one here tonight. Drop off Tayshaun from Ben. Too hard, but attack goes.
Another offensive rebound. And, you know, I think the reason why Darko's on the floor right now, and it's just a minute of action, but he has the height and the mobility to maybe better bother Gasol than maybe Dale Davis.
Now he has to dig in. And Darko on a reach. Picked up the foul and Gasol on the drive.
And then here's the thing on Memphis' side. Give them credit. Mike Fratello knows that Darko isn't going to be given the respect from the officials if there's any contact whatsoever going against Paul Gasol. So you smartly give him the basketball and let him drive it. You tell him don't shoot it, drive it.
So Tayshaun whispers something in Darko's ear there a moment ago. Maybe, perhaps, does he tell him to back off a little bit?
Back off a little bit and try and invite the shot. Just get a hand up.
Let's check the upcoming Pistons schedule. Brought to you by the Romani Eye Institute. Sunday on WB20, Kobe Bryant comes to town with the Lakers. Tuesday, we'll be with the Pistons on FSN in New Jersey. And then Wednesday, back on WB20 with the T-Wolves. And we'll have the Friday game with the Philadelphia 76ers here on FSN Detroit a week from tonight. Jackson reclaimed Billups. Reset screen by Tayshaun. This time does force a switch. Deflected past him. Memphis has gotten a lot of those here in the first half. This is now with 8 turnovers, far more than they commit in a half. Normally, they average 11 a game. Final seconds, Jackson way off. And that will finish the first quarter. It went back and forth. The Grizzlies with an early 7-point lead. Pistons went up 3. And they know they certainly have a battle on their hands against the #1 ranked defense in the NBA in Memphis. They only allow 87 a night. Fans, stay tuned for a sneak peek of Big Mama's House 2 starring Martin Lawrence in theaters now. Seven offensive Piston boards already. Gasol snuck the pass into right. Blocked from behind by Ben, no foul. Blocked from behind by Ben, no foul. Sorry to repeat myself, but Ben made me do it. Part of the rejection of Ben Wallace. Oh, FSN, I don't know if we rule the world, but certainly the Palace tonight, hopefully with the help of the Pistons. Let's get the coaching thoughts from Greg Kelser and assistant coach Sid Lowe.
Thanks a lot, Fred. Coach, couple of things stand out as problematic in my mind. First of all, dribble penetration from the guards early, and then, of course, Paul Gasol pretty much throughout the entire first half.
Yeah, well, you know, he's tough down there, and I think we allowed him too many times to catch the ball where he wanted it. We've got to fight him a little more and then try to get around in front of him maybe and deny him a little bit. Penetration, we have to square up on the guys. We're opening up and giving them lanes, and you know, this is a very disciplined ball club. They're going to take what you give them, and they're going to make plays.
Plenty of offensive rebounds available. You guys got 11 points off the glass second chance-wise. Are you happy with your offensive execution right now?
Not really. You know, we're holding the ball too long. You know, we're trying to keep it on strong side and force it in. We've got to get the ball moving. They do a nice job of clogging the lane and forcing you to swing the ball in, and that's what we have to do. Get some weak side, strong side, weak side basketball. Get them on the move like they're doing us.
Okay, Sidney, good luck in the second half.
Okay, thanks.
All right, Fred, back to you.
All right, Greg, thanks. Spoken from the former Grizzlies head coach, Sid Lowe, but Gasol was very tough. He's so much improved as a driver of the basketball, and he's so long inside, as you can see. So he really does provide a headache, and he can also run the floor. And that's why people in Memphis feel that he's going to become an all-star, but the dilemma there has been played off of him, and then Gasol knocks it down. And in the first half, you can see what he did on our Rock Financial Shooting the Rock. All over the place. Made 5 of 8. Paul Gasol, the Spaniard. And perhaps he indeed is headed to the All-Star game. I think he is for the first time in his career. Well, this is Vinnie Johnson night. His number 15 already retired in Piston lore, but at halftime, Vinnie also had his name emblazoned on the floor. George Blaha singing the praises of VJ, the microwave, of course, a nickname given to him by Danny Ainge because of a playoff series in '85. And you were traded for this guy. Who would have known that he would become this kind of player, leaving the Sonics for Detroit?
I was actually traded the second time for him. Vinny and I almost were teammates in Seattle, but the first time I was returned because of physical problems to my knee. But when I went out the second time, the trade was made for Vinny. And he was able to come here during that rebuilding process, be a big part of it, help the Pistons win their first 2 championships. Really, really fortunate for him.
There are very few players in the NBA really like him. I asked him off camera before the telecast if anybody does remind him. He said maybe Ben Gordon perhaps, but you know, I was just paying attention to becoming a Piston, and these days that's all I really watch of the Pistons. But he was also really better off contact, wasn't he?
Vinny was so strong. I mean, and there's really no one you can compare him to. No one else used their body to bruise a defender as much as Vinny. And then, you know, who will forget that shot over Portland?
007 to wrap up the second of the back-to-back championships. That one in 1990, of course. Let's start the third quarter now. Shane Battier spinning, almost lost it. Lorenzen Wright had a challenge. Ben couldn't collect his 8th rebound. Battier gets it.
I used to tell Vinny, you got my rings, man.
Gasol on the drive, gave it up. Eddie Jones fires, rattles out to an offensive rebounding Lorenzen Wright. So Memphis taking a page from the Pistons book in the first half. 48-44 Memphis. They had lost 5 of the last 7 coming in, but blew out Minnesota last night. Hamilton comes up shot. Down the floor, leaking. Jones couldn't quite catch it. Off the feet for Bobby Jackson.
But again, it shows you what they really want to do, and that's push it. That pass just a little bit too long for Jones to haul in. Something tells me this is one of those games that could go right down to the wire because Memphis is good on both ends of the floor.
Grizzlies already have 9 fast break points, trying to add to it, couldn't. Hamilton trying to shake free from Eddie Jones, couldn't. Billups, healthy 3 try, it's down! Again, the strength of Chauncey.
Well, he's the one guy who can shoot a 3-pointer as an afterthought. I mean, he turned down the first look and then decided, okay, I'll go ahead and take this, and still shot it cleanly. Most guys on that afterthought, they're done.
Jackson misfires, challenged by Ben. No looker inside the Ben. Chauncey on the dime, showing why he is 3rd in the league in assists at 9 a night. And the big fella has 6 points.
That was made available because 2 Grizzlies, both Lorenzen Wright and Bobby Jackson, were late getting back. The Pistons had numbers.
Deshaun with a deflection and the save to Big Ben Wallace.
And right now, if you got numbers, Chauncey Billups is going to find the guy that's open. He is really passing it well.
So did Ben to a cutting Richard Hamilton. 7 straight Piston points at the snap of a finger, forcing a Memphis called timeout as they are down 3. They do this so often. Just flip the switch, and before you know it, they've got 7 points in your face. Timeout, we'll be back. Well, the Pistons now have regained the lead. They are up 3 here over Memphis. 9.5 left in quarter number 3. Tonight's game marks the Pistons' 106th consecutive sellout. You can get in line now for next year by placing a deposit for 06-07 season tickets. Your deposit also gets you playoff priority for this year. Call 248-377-0100 or log on to Pistons.com. Chauncey Billups at Minnesota started out 0 for 9. Then in the first half against Milwaukee didn't take a shot. And look how he finished those 2 halves, including overtime. Tonight, 8 points, a pedestrian 2 for 2 and 3-point shots in the first half. Will you imagine he'll try to take control again?
I think he'll do that. That seems to be his tendency over the last 3 or 4 games, to just wait it out and see what he develops and then go to it.
Gasol gave it up nicely. Mike Miller off the bench quickly. Martello senses a Piston run. Eddie Jones over Ben Wallace, who may have gotten a piece of that, couldn't tell. Off the fingertips, they tell us. Rashid for 3. Rims out. Ben Wallace in a tap battling Gasol. Tried to save it, but it wound up in Wright's hand. Mike Miller being guarded by Tayshaun Prince. Spins on Ben Wallace and scores. You mentioned it. He is a serious threat for 6th man of the year. We saw one the other night in Maurice Williams from Milwaukee. Those guys both averaging about 14 points a game. 51-50 is the Piston lead. Up top to Ben. Great catch. Rip Hamilton for 3. Right in front of the Memphis bench, and they were giving it to him as he was letting it go.
You remember what we talked about the other day against Milwaukee, the extra pass and the value of said? Well, Ben Wallace gave that extra pass, and there was nothing Memphis could do about it that time. It was just too much ground to have to cover.
Gasol jumps and scores. It's almost like a slow motion release, but he knows where it's going. 54-52.
He has been most efficient. He has yet to take 10 shots. I think that was his 9th shot attempt of the game. He already has 20 points.
He's become a complete offensive player. Billups was stripped by a reach-in foul from Bobby Jackson.
Okay, I want to show you the extra pass. There's Ben Wallace and multiple defenders on him. Now, anybody in the picture on Rip? Nope. That's what the extra pass does. It buys extra time for the shooter.
And look at that. He leads the league in field goal percentage outside the arc at 51%. You know, Larry Brown just didn't want him to shoot the shot. He wanted him to dribble drive and either do a mid-range shot or get to the hole. And Rip says, hey, I always could do that at UConn. People just forget about that. And tonight he's 2 for 2 to get over 51%. So Billups makes it 55-52. Chauncey has 13. Jackson turned the corner. Miller, who was challenged by Tayshaun on a strong close. Save to Jackson. Shot clock continues to tick. Jackson, did he walk? Sure looked like it. Tap over the back. Gasol, loose ball foul. Second foul on Paul Gasol. They've been trying to get him to be more active on the boards this season, and it's certainly paid dividends. He's averaging 9 rebounds a game. So Detroit with the ball on a 3-point pad. Billups to the hole. A breakdown defensively. 57-52. Pistons with their biggest lead. Gasol backing Ben Wallace down. The follow-up. Rebound to Rashid. Helps to have those long arms, doesn't it? Billups senses a run here. Drops it off behind Rip Hamilton. Crowd would have gone ballistic had that play finished off. 9th Piston turnover.
You notice when Gasol catches the ball for Memphis, all movement stops.
Ben with a steal. Chauncey and Rip. 2-on-1 with Eddie Jones. Back and forth. The two backcourt pals with that unspoken synergy. 59-52.
The unselfishness, beautiful to watch. But the defense is the reason why right now the Pistons are putting some distance between themselves and their opponent. They really turned it up here.
Gasol was harassed. Eddie Jones, tough shot. Good defense by Richard Hamilton off the hand of Rashid. Well, the Piston defense leading to our bell tire fast break of the game. Ben Wallace with a steal, and then poor Eddie Jones. Nothing else he could do.
Nicely done. Right now the Pistons are challenging everything. Every pass almost impossible to complete with Ben Wallace lurking, and there's that extra pass again.
This is a 15-4 assault right now by the home club. Chucky Atkins is back on the floor. Gasol. Ben Wallace digs in and a reach-in foul. Third foul on Big Ben.
Earlier, Chauncey Billups gave a little hesitation move. Watch his man the whole time here, Bobby Jackson. He's going to try to anticipate the ball going back, never, ever getting in front of Chauncey Billups, and now allowing him to go all the way to the basket. Reading the defense.
Getting screened off by your own teammate. Gasol, quick first step, threw it away. Sheed with his duck, intended for right. Arroyo on the floor. Tayshaun faked the three. Back and Miller down. And a reach-in foul on Mike Miller.
Foul number 33 is Mike Miller. Second. Team Detroit basketball out of bounds.
Turnover bugaboo for Mike Fratello saying moo. I'm sure coming to the basketball what he is talking about. Long rebound to Miller. Ready-made break. Hamilton hustled back. Eddie Jones fights it up, and he was fouled by Arroyo. But it's a point you talked about in the first half. Every time Memphis has the opportunity to break, they're trying to sell it. Who's your pick for the McDonald's Player of the Game? Simply call 1-866-9-PLAYER to place your guess. For guessing correctly during our last telecast, Nancy Dilger of Sterling Heights has won a $25 McDonald's gift card and great FSN apparel. Stay tuned to see if you are correct. Jones has one more coming.
The reason why you hate to give up fast break baskets at a time like this to a team like Memphis, Memphis is really struggling in the half court, getting nothing done. So usually when a team is struggling like that, the best way to break out of it, get something easy. So if you're the Pistons, you don't want to allow that. Make them continue to have to beat you with what they're struggling with right now.
Jake Sokolidis checks in as Mike Fratello goes a little deeper into his bench. Eddie Jones split a pair. 59-53. Look at the battle on the baseline. Jones and Hamilton. Step out by Sokolidis. Ben rolled. Picked up by Miller on good rotation. Ben will back him down though on that switch. The hook. Doesn't go. Rebound Miller. Knocked away by Ben. Tayshaun came up with it. Ben Wallace just never quits.
Yep. Gives you that second and third effort every time.
Miller. Nice steal on the entry. He's been really active at the defensive end. Miller off the screen, squares up and scores. Miller with 11, 59-55. Hamilton off a double screen from Sheed and Prince. Rashid in the post. Turns on Gasol, too high off the glass. Arroyo tried to keep it alive. Sokolidis has it.
Memphis really going big now in an effort to work on the glass with Sokolidis and Gasol on the floor at the same time.
Eddie Jones misfires. Rebound Ben, good position. Sokolidis knocked it away. And it belongs to Memphis. Ben Wallace not happy. He felt he was fouled over the back by Sokolidis.
Sokolidis, 7'2" and 290. Paul Gasol, 7 feet even. And very, very fluid.
So it's the European version of the Twin Towers. Atkins keeping the dribble alive. Off the kneecap of Gasol. Arroyo tried to go behind his back, didn't work, and Eddie Jones cleaned it up. So just like that, Memphis cuts it to 59-57. This team is 11-10 on the road, so they don't get flustered when they fall behind by 7. Hard show by Gasol. Hamilton was strung out. Down on the handout. Rip up top. Missed it. Tayshaun tried to collect it. Then back to Rip. And he scores.
Well, right now, even with that double building look in there, the Twin Towers is not helping Memphis on the offensive on the defensive glass. They're still giving up second chance opportunities.
Pistons have more than doubled them up in that department. Miller and Prince waging their battle. Mike Miller switched to the left hand. He's got a ready-made game as a 6-man. He just comes off the bench looking to score a la Vinnie Johnson, doesn't he?
And it's not all one way. I mean, it's not all jump shots. He can put it on the floor and get to the basket. Memphis still not blocking out. They are still not putting a body on people. And that is why they are getting pummeled on the offensive glass.
The Pistons active at both ends, but that time Eddie Jones made the Pistons pay for a mistake. Rip Hamilton, though, getting one on the other side. The Pistons leading the Memphis Grizzlies by 2 here in the third quarter at the Palace of Auburn Hills. Hey, tonight's three-dimensional hot seat winning location is in section 109, row CCC, seat 3. Tonight's winner will receive a fantastic basketball prize pack and great FSN apparel from your friends at Three Dimensional Services Group. Play again during our telecast Tuesday night at New Jersey. Pistons trying to deliver another blow here to an opponent and go 36-5. But in the boxing parlance, Memphis is hanging toe-to-toe here. Then on a back tap. And here comes Miller. Dice is off the bench. He'll guard Gasol. Lead feed for Miller. He's been a handful here. Mike Miller almost walked on the up and down. Shot from the corner, and there's a whistle and a foul on McDyess. Third on Antonio, who once scored 46 in a game against this Grizzlies franchise. Don't forget the Minnesota Timberwolves come to town, led by Kevin Garnett. They made a big trade to try to shake things up, so they'll be out to prove that they're a better ball club now. First 10,000 fans receive a rally towel. Get your tickets tonight by calling 248-377-0100. Mark Blunt also a part of that deal. Let's see, Ricky Davis also go to the T-Wolves. Gasol makes it 61 all.
Memphis has played better with Chucky Atkins on the floor tonight. He seems to just calm them down and get them into good offensive sets.
Tayshaun against Miller, one-on-one. Miller overplays him to the left. Back to Tay in the post. Turns, and a foul on Mike Miller. Tayshaun had the look on his face. You'd better call that one. And Mike Miller knew he got him on the arm. His third. Nice recognition there. The Pistons have already won once at New Jersey. Can they do it again? Nets are playing better basketball these days than when they faced them earlier this season. That'll be a tough test Tuesday night here on FSN Detroit.
Fred, let me tell you a little bit about the psychology of playing in the post. You notice Tayshaun Prince got the ball in the post earlier and didn't have anything. Gave it back up, and then Chauncey Billups allowed him to reset in that post and gave him the basketball back. A lot of times when guys don't have faith in their teammates that they'll get it back, they'll try and force something the initial time and end up taking a bad shot.
Sakalidis jumps and scores. Jake Sakalidis averages 2 points a game in limited minutes, but he confidently hit it. 63-62 Memphis.
You know, again, I think that just speaks to the patience and the unselfishness of this ball club. They wanted Tayshaun in the post, and they allowed him to get a couple of touches in there to set himself.
Off the turnover, Sakalidis snuck inside. Found Miller. Memphis with the ball and a 1-point lead. Atkins against Billups. Ducks inside and to a pass blocked by McDyess, and a late whistle on Antonio. And that's why the crowd and the head coach are upset.
Here's where a 7-footer doesn't really play 7 feet. And how about 7'2"? Sakalidis wasn't coming anywhere close to dunking that. Chucky Atkins set it up beautifully, but what got Sakalidis to the line is the fact that he went up and at least tried to dunk it. If he had tried to lay that, would have never got the call. So you do get the benefit of going with the dunk mindset more times than not.
You can see that McDyess got a piece of the wrist, so the proper foul call. Sakalidis with a quick 4.
Once again, though, Memphis starting to get some dividends out of their half-court offense, and Chucky Atkins is the reason why.
A 13-3 answer by the Grizzlies. Hamilton had it knocked away. And the Piston turnover has coughed it up 13 times. Miller missed a 3. Rebound a long one to Chucky Atkins. Gasol on the quick move. Blocked by McDyess. No foul that time. Got all leather. Pistons will try to work for the final shot of the third quarter. Billups and Atkins, good friends, former teammates, as Chauncey goes to work, and a foul on Chucky Atkins. They did not have a foul to give. So Chauncey goes the line for 2 here. Those guys, of course, used to battle hammer and tong in practice, so Chucky knows this move.
Knows it, but ill-equipped to do anything about it. But Chucky, you're not alone. There aren't too many guys in the league that can stop Chauncey's penetration. You push up on him, he's going to go by you. If you play him softly, he's going to knock down the outside shot on you.
We'll now look for point number 18. 6 of 9 from the floor. He'll take that all week long. And a 10-point quarter. Gasol tees it up for 3. Paul Gasol knocks it down. It's only his second tray of the season.
You know what they just ran on the Pistons? the Pistons play that they normally get to Rasheed Wallace in that same instance. And Chucky Atkins was the trigger man.
He's played well again. The Pistons made an early third quarter run, took the lead by 7. But the Grizzlies have answered back with a 16-5 surge, setting up a good fourth quarter. Well, tonight's game is a part of homecoming week here on FS in Detroit. We hope you've enjoyed it. A full week of your favorite teams playing in front of hometown fans. And homecoming week wraps up tomorrow with a hockey day in Michigan doubleheader. Northern Michigan at Western at 4:30, followed by Michigan State. Need we say more there at 7:30 tomorrow on FSN Detroit. The Pistons have only headed in the fourth quarter down 6 times this season. The last time at Cleveland on New Year's Eve. Technically, last year. Pistons are 3-3 in these situations when they go to the fourth, trailing. Billups. Wide open, Tayshaun Prince. Missed a 3-ball, rebound Sakalidis, who's given them a lift inside.
And this guy has given them a lift big time, Chucky Atkins, with his floor generalship. They were really struggling in that half court before he came in.
Ball off the foot of Tayshaun Prince. So 14 seconds on the shot clock.
It's a good pickup for Memphis.
Especially, you know, they were originally thinking they might have to trade something for Chucky, and then Washington released him, so all they got him for was just a contract. Atkins was strung out, deflected by Rasheed. Gasol couldn't control it, then finally does. 4 to shoot. Miller tries to rescue it, and he does. Mike Miller with 15 off the bench, and now Memphis with a 6-point lead. Their biggest spread has been 7. Crowd a little stunned right now. Billups in the post against Chucky. Tough matchup for Chucky. Followed up and in by Tayshaun Prince. You think perhaps they'll try to exploit that more?
For 2 reasons. Number 1, to make Chucky have to work on defense and possibly even to foul him out like last time.
Tayshaun for 3. Wide left.
Plus, it's never a bad option to go down low to Chauncey Billups. Doesn't mean he's going to score. He could dish from the post area.
4-point game. Whistle away from the ball. And a screen out of bounds. Gives it back to Detroit. I don't see that called very often. Mike Fratello did not argue. Billups kept the dribble alive. She got it. 70-68. Similar play, of course, that helped knock off Milwaukee the other night, that high pick and roll between Rasheed and Chauncey. Atkins was cut off, got away with the off arm. Gasol. Skip feed to Battier. Shane Battier, no. Rebound Gasol.
Shane Battier has only taken 3 shots in this game, so he hasn't had the chance to get into the rhythm necessary to get anything going, so he hasn't scored yet.
Just the 4th rebound for Gasol. Sakalidis, you live with that shot. Rebound Rasheed.
Pistons are forcing them away from Gasol, away from Miller, and away from Chucky Atkins.
Hamilton ducks into a pass. Skip feed, Wallace to Wallace. Sheen on the dribble drive. And no bucket on the follow by Ben because Rasheed was fouled on the drive by Sakalidis. Don't see Sheed do that very often.
But he was patient enough to see that there was a defender racing, sprinting out to him. And when you go out like that, you're not going to have enough control if the guy decides to put it on the floor and go to the basket, and that's what happened.
So Rasheed trying to tie it here. 70-69. Stay with us after the ball game. DSR post game. It's been a big hit with you fans this season. Ryan Field will have a player guest on the floor and be in the locker room. We'll hear from Flip Saunders. All coming up immediately after the game. 1 point difference. Pau Gasol on the bench getting a breather. Let's see how they perform without him. Miller will be definitely their go-to guy. Mo Evans dug in defensively. Knocked away Ben Wallace. Short shot clock with 6. Battier, a killer 3.
You know what? There have been like 3 loose balls that Memphis has been able to come up with and score immediately. I mean, a turnover, then they get it and score with it.
Tells you they keep their concentration. Not shooting the ball well outside the arc, but what's kept them alive is their free throw shooting tonight. Normally they're terrible. One of the worst in the business at the line. Billups against Atkins, and Chucky fouled him. Now the Pistons trying to exploit Chucky in that mismatch at the defensive end for Memphis. But Shane Battier, his first field goal of the night, with a lot of friends and family watching, and he knocked it down. Brought to you by Rock Financial. Call the mortgage experts at 800-333-ROCK. By Chevy. See your Detroit area Chevy dealers. Chevy rocks the Motor City. And by Sprite and Thirst, reminding you to obey your thirst. Friday night at the Palace. Let's go to Ryan Field on the Pistons sideline.
Hey, Fred, it's no secret the Pistons' offensive numbers are up across the board this season. A big reason why is Flip Saunders' offense and his playbook. I mean, this thing is as thick as something you'd find in the NFL. If you want proof, Flip Saunders told a story recently that when he was coaching in Minnesota, an opposing scout from a team they were going to play the next night was writing down all the plays that they used in their game with the Timberwolves, thought they had the Timberwolves figured out. Well, the very next night, Flip and the T-Wolves didn't use one play from the night before. That just goes to show you how many plays are in that offensive playbook of his, and the Pistons are going to need some of those down the stretch here, Fred.
That's a great story.
Well, you know, part of that is the fact that, you know, one play might have 5, 6, up to 10 options off of it. So you do the math, you get 5 plays, that's 50 possible options, and it is something very difficult to scout.
Chauncey makes twice, 73-71, and it's not just Chauncey reading. It's all 5 guys reading off screens and screen setters. It's a very complicated offense. You got to have a smart basketball team to run it successfully.
Yeah. Bobby Jackson on the floor, and that's a defensive move by Memphis.
Miller through the contact. Should be before the shot. Oh no, they're going to give him 2 free throws.
You know, I think that Mike Fratello really was liking what Chucky Atkins was able to provide for them on the offensive end, but he became concerned with what Detroit was beginning to do with Chauncey Billups against Chucky on the defensive end. So that is the reason why Bobby Jackson, who's much stronger, taller, and better able to body up against Chauncey Billups, that's why he's in the game right now.
So Chucky sits for a while. I'm sure we haven't seen the last of them tonight. Miller missed the first of 2. Missed them both. That's more Memphis-like. We're at the Palace of Auburn Hills. Crowd getting into it. Could we have another last-second finish? Along with Ryan Field, Greg Kelser, Fred McLeod with you. Michael Odino, Jeff Bile in the truck. Toss the sheet in the post. Against Battier. 3 inches taller. Evans leads. Came up shy. Ben with a back tap. So did Sheed. Pistons with another chance. Rip Hamilton for 3. Sheed up in the air. He was undercut by Battier. Not intentionally. And Sheed pops it right up. So does Shane. So the Pistons continue to provide headaches for Memphis on the Detroit offensive glass.
Well, this was about to be an air ball. Richard Hamilton shot coming up short. Rasheed Wallace realizing it before anybody else. He got up in the air and avoided contact, even though Battier had inside position.
Shannon, let's go Pistons goes up now. 13-8 Pistons in that offensive glass battle. Sheed was double. And a turnover results. And you got to give Memphis a lot of credit. The Pistons, again, only cough up 11 turnovers a night as Gasol returns. He left with Memphis up 1. Returns, it's a 2-point lead. And some pretty gaudy numbers. Look at the free throws, 10 of 10 for the line. He's only a 68% free tosser, and he's been perfect. The Pistons again averaging 11, so already they have 2 more turnovers than normal. Gasol. Right away, their go-to guy for the stretch drive. Couldn't get away from Rashid. 5 to shoot. Bobby Jackson realizes it. Has to hoist. Knock away. Oh, and a tough foul on Chauncey Billups. That hurt. They had nowhere to go. Second foul on Billups.
You know, here's the biggest difference I see right now. When Bobby Jackson's on the floor, and Bobby's a good guard. Don't get me wrong. See the contact there. Let's look at this and see if it was really kind. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was a foul. But the biggest difference in their offensive production out of the half court when Bobby's on the floor tonight versus when Chucky's on the floor, they are very much one-on-one and standing when Bobby's on the floor. You throw it over to Gasol one-on-one, or Jones a one-on-one, or Miller one-on-one. So if that one offensive player gets stopped, there's not much left. With Chucky on the floor getting penetration and really moving the basketball, they were a much tougher team to defend.
So let's see if it plays out here over the final 7 minutes plus. Hamilton into a sea of defense. Billups leans, scores. Chauncey with that strength again as he's squared up. Give him 22. The thing at the defensive end, Bobby Jackson is bigger and stronger to guard Chauncey. Billups wanted a whistle to go with that bucket. Detroit down a deuce. Gasol spins away. Tough shot. No! The alligator armed it.
One-on-one again, though. Everybody's standing off the ball.
I see your point. Billups took Tayshaun, and he was fouled. And a chance to tie it up with 6.5 left. Tay banged across the eye.
Chauncey Billups, you know, he has that really nice hesitation and acceleration off the dribble. And with that, you just never know how to defend the guy.
Tay strokes the first of 2. Memphis feels they have lost 5 games this year because of putrid free throwing. And tonight, they're hanging in here, 16 of 21. The Pistons certainly expected to win this battle at the line.
Well, tonight they're undoing Memphis, that is. The defensive glass letting them down. Detroit with 12 offensive rebounds thus far.
So we're even at 75 as Battier goes to work on a clear out. Tay stayed right there. Ball goes out of bounds off Rasheed Wallace as he's turned up the temperature on Paul Gasol. Not good news if you're a Piston fan because Mike Miller returns. He's just so dangerous. And he's one of those 6 men who wind up playing a lot of the fourth quarter. Gasol a catch. One-on-one basketball with Rashid. Turns on hooks. No. Rebound tapped up and in somehow by Battier. So Shade has 5 all in this quarter. 77-75 Memphis. Billups caught Jackson looking. He was doubled. Tay on the drop. Sheed for 3. Rebound to Bobby Jackson. Good close that time by Battier on the defensive side. Good ball game. Under 6 left. Rashid with a steal. Turnover 14 now for Memphis, so that department is even. Rip needs to get it going here, but he used the off arm against Eddie Jones, who deserves credit for making it tough on Rip. Second foul on Richard Hamilton. Time out on the floor. It's still tight in Auburn Hills. Up top. Tayshaun! Rip Hamilton for 3. Right in front of the Memphis bench. Gasol tees it up for 3. Paul Gasol knocks it down. It's only his 2nd tray of the season. Catch. One-on-one basketball with Rashid. Turns on hooks. No. Rebound tap up and in somehow by Battier. So let's check our Chevy game summary. Normally when Chauncey Billups and Rip Hamilton have good scoring nights combined, the Pistons win, but Memphis is making it tough because of Gasol's continued success at the offensive end. And look at the bench points, 28-6. Mike Miller, in fact, has outscored the Piston bench. But in defense of the Piston reserves, not a lot of minutes for them so far. McDyess has played 13. Evans 13, Arroyo 9. Starters with heavy minutes, all over 32 minutes plus so far, with still 5.5 left here. But when you've got the best starting 5 in basketball, and you're Flip Saunders, you stay with them. Pistons have the day off tomorrow before the Lakers come in on Sunday. Miller was strung out. Gasol goes inside. He shuffled the shoes.
You travel too if Ben and Rasheed Wallace were coming at you, full head of steam, looking to block your shot. Yeah, you travel too. Look at this. Here they come. I don't know if he traveled though.
Here comes Rip Hamilton to the basketball. Jones stays on. Hard screen from Shee. Rip scores. No. Shot it. Rebound. Ben. No. And he was fouled after that Rasheed attempted tap. Rip's ball was all over the rim, didn't go down, and the Pistons stayed after it. So the big fella goes the line for 2 freebies.
Well, it's up to 14 and counting. Make it 15. That's the number of offensive rebounds that the Pistons have been able to get tonight, because for some reason Memphis has failed to put a body on people, block them out.
And knocks down the first of 2 very calmly. Our wall side work in the window. Pistons rebounding margin during the win streak, 5.5 plus. Tonight they're up 9. Ben settles for a split. 77-76. Remember, we went to double overtime between these two teams back in mid-December. Eddie Jones gave it up. Vanier against Ben Wallace. Gasol, lead feed to Miller. Look at the ball moving. Gasol in traffic. And he'll look for 2 at the line.
Well, that's one of the few times that more than 2 people touched the basketball on a half-court possession by Memphis. They moved their bodies and moved the ball and became very difficult to handle. Ended up working Gasol to the free throw line.
So Gasol again, you see his season average, 68%.
That's his first point in this 4th quarter, so the Pistons have cut him off, but a lot of that is because it's one-on-one basketball, and you're not going to win or beat the Pistons very often with that type of attack.
He is 12 of 12 at the free throw line. How in the world is he 68% for the year?
Well, Fred, he was 12 of 12 2 nights ago against Memphis. He's worked on it.
That's 24-24. Even I know that without a calculator. 79-76. 7 to shoot. Billups in some trouble. Turnover Detroit. Jackson with good, tough defense. Turnover number 16 for the Pistons. I've talked about the Pistons' 11 turnovers per game. Nobody's even close in the league. The next closest team is 13. So give Memphis a lot of defensive credit. Vanier knew Ben was going to block his shot. Eddie Jones rattled out the tray. That would have been huge for the Grizzlies. Hamilton fights off the pass. Good decision. They're making it tough on Rip. Tayshaun. Fire. Rebound. Weak side. Shee. Back up and down. Huge bucket. 79-78.
If Memphis loses, they will lament the fact that they weren't strong on the glass. Pistons are working the offensive glass big time.
Gasol, you know he's going to get it a lot down the stretch. He did in Memphis last month against this club.
I think this helps the Pistons because everybody else is standing.
Oh, tough one on Detroit. It's the 5th foul on Rasheed Wallace. Flip Saunders just got teed up by Bill Kennedy. So a possible 3-point exchange here for Memphis.
Well, probably some amazement on Flip's behalf in terms of how much bumping Gasol is able to do and get away with. I give Rasheed Wallace credit for not picking up that technical. He doesn't need any more. His number already up to 11 on the season technicals, and 16 gives you a one-game suspension automatic. You're halfway through the season now.
80-78. So Flip picked up the tech. Maybe the guys will respond here for him. That's his 4th technical foul this season. Gasol rolled inside. Missed it. Perhaps Ben bothered the shot a little bit, but Gasol is so long he was able to shoot it over. Detroit only down a deuce here. Jackson with a foul. Oh, that should be a tech, shouldn't it? Ball went flying out of there. Somebody's got to get teed up. And they did. And it's because of a delay of game.
Well, what
not
happens
because
there,
of the ball.
Chauncey threw the ball. That's what happened. Chauncey threw the ball, maybe in disgust, and they're going to call that a delay of game, and it's the second one on the Pistons, which is an automatic technical foul.
My mistake. I thought somebody from the Memphis side threw the ball. So it's a delay of game on Detroit. It's their second. Miller shoots the tech. So the Pistons now get to the line. The ball came flying out of there. I just made the assumption that it was Jackson or somebody wearing blue. But Dick Bavetta having it under control. And now Billups at the line for 2 with 3:05 left.
I think the Pistons are in a situation where defensively, you know where they become pretty predictable. They're looking for Gasol, they're looking for Miller for isolations, one-on-one basketball. So it's important that the person guarding the ball protect, don't get beat off the dribble, try to force a tough jump shot. But everybody else, don't allow your guy to all of a sudden cut in there and maybe get an easy pass into the lane for a layup or a high percentage shot. They're not getting movement off the ball. They're one-on-one basketball right now.
Flip now has switched Ben Wallace on to Gasol because of the 5 fouls on Sheed. Rasheed on Battier. It helps when you have 2 Wallaces to go to. Bobby Jackson over Ben. Missed the shot. Rebound. Gasol got a piece of it. Sheed comes down and threw it away. Jackson back up. No! Rebound Rasheed. Here comes Hamilton. Now they'll set up a play. Coming up on 2.5. Left in regulation. Playoff field. Foul on Jackson. Billups in line for 2.
Right now, Bobby Jackson having just as many problems staying with Chauncey Billups as Chucky Atkins did.
And the crowd trying to become that 6th man. Can they carry him home? We'll see.
Hey everybody, Cameron Wong from the FSN studios. Don't even think about changing the channel after the game. The DSR has the post-game covered. We're the only place you can get Flip's post-game thoughts live, plus plenty of exclusive player reaction as well. That and more right after the game. Right now, send it back to the guys who are calling the game, Fred and Greg.
Hey Cameron, heck of a finish in sight for the Pistons and the Grizzlies again. But look at this last defensive possession. Look at Rasheed.
He makes multiple attempts to come up with the basketball. That's his second effort at a rebound, but he throws it away, but then gets right back into the play, defends, and now gets the rebound and a nice outlet. So, you know, just not stopping, not quitting.
Memphis, number 1 in the NBA. Fewest points allowed. Piston, number 3 at 90.6 a game. So that's why you're seeing this determined defense. And tonight, the teams are barely in the 80s. They made 1 adjustment during the timeout. Rasheed has 4 fouls. His previous foul was given to Ben, so Ben Wallace also has 4 fouls, so that certainly helps. 1 is down. Now for the lead, Chauncey Billups. Chauncey says, give me that free throw battle with Pau Gasol. Detroit back in front by 1. Now they're in a stop, or 2 or 3. 82-81 Detroit. Near steal by Ben Wallace. Gasol screened and rolled. Miller. Ben put up a stop sign. Tayshaun picks up Miller.
Isolation basketball.
Miller to the hole. Bad swatted it away. He crushed it. Billups for three. They do it again. Ben absolutely beat that thing up. 85-81. 7 straight points by red, white, and blue. Listen to the crowd. Knocked away. Off Gasol. Detroit basketball.
Hey, what is getting it done right now? It's the defense, yet again. Folks who want to question whether or not this team has kept its defensive constitution, well, check them out.
Clock continues to tick in the fourth. Coming up on a buck and a half left. High screen sheet. Billups resets. Oh, Chauncey! That is absurd! Looking for a 4-point play.
Maybe Mike Fratello should consider putting both Chucky and Bobby Jackson on Chauncey Billups. Because one guy can't get it done tonight. Look at the pump fake, the contact, the concentration, nothing but the bottom.
He missed a free throw. Shame on Chauncey. 88-81. 22-076. Yelling their lungs out.
This is why Detroit is better than everybody else, folks. They can cut your water off. I mean, they can absolutely choke the spigot.
And look at Chauncey. He's missed because he missed a free throw.
Pistons defense and Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace. But again, you're talking about Memphis, which has become predictable with all the isolation of one-on-one basketball. No way was Miller going to be able to complete that. Chauncey Billups knew what he wanted. Rushed down, sized it up, dropped it. Crowd responding. And then after another turnover by Memphis, Chauncey down, knowing what he wants again, gets the contact, gets the three-point opportunity, the three-point shot, the four-point opportunity.
Greg, you talked about it before, the strength it takes to shoot that reset three. Why is that so difficult?
Well, you know, first of all, it's a long shot. It's a low percentage shot for most people. There was a time in the NBA when you didn't see nearly as many three-point tries because it is such a difficult shot. It was usually reserved for late-game situations when you were trying to get back into it. But these players now today, they work out, they're in the weight room, they're incredibly strong. So that three-point line is nothing for Chauncey Billups. I have stood next to him while he's practiced and watched him shoot it. He shoots it like it's a free throw. It is no push for him. It is an easy shot for him.
Chauncey Billups is our McDonald's player of the game. If you guess correctly, you might win a $25 McDonald's gift card and great FSN apparel. Tune into our next telecast Tuesday in New Jersey to see if you have won.
And of course, Chauncey's done it again. He stepped it up with the offense when his team needed it. Detroit now on a 10-0 run with Chauncey shooting and everybody defending.
And again, in a blink of an eye, Memphis had all the momentum, and the Pistons have seized it right from them. Milwaukee in the same situation the other night, forced overtime though, and blocked it. Gasol on a finger roll. Remember, they were down, the Bucks were, by 7 with less than a minute and a half left and came back. Pistons have to be careful. Tayshaun! 90-83, it's still not over. Vintage Piston basketball down the stretch. Memphis is going to have to hurry up though. Eddie Jones missed the three ball. Look at Gasol. Continues his huge night. Miller tries again, missed it.
They are all thinking Ben Wallace when they go inside now.
Ben was in his head. And he got the rebound and was fouled.
Mike Fratello wanted some full court pressure, but the Pistons beat it early, got it up the floor, and this is what happens when teams try to pressure in your full court. And look at Mike Fratello. Get back, get back, get back. No can do.
Helpless, as a coach can feel, Mike Fratello. Then we'll try one more. The former Piston television commentator knows all about trying to stop this team, but easier said than done. Ben again a split. 91-83. Ben Wallace has 13 boards, so 13 R shirts up with the crowd. And the big fella's defense down the stretch has been a major momentum turner. Chauncey Billups again stepping up huge. Let's go back to the last game against the Milwaukee Bucks. This was an overtime after the Pistons had fallen down behind the Bucks by 4. But Chauncey, after a free ball from Sheed, knocked down a shot, came back and knocked down another. And Mr. Big Shot, indeed, on cue, helping rescue the Pistons to get to 35-5. And, of course, he has done it again tonight. All he's had is 14 points, Greg, in the fourth quarter.
Someone was asking, you know, is Chauncey a superstar? Is he a great player? Well, maybe not in the nation's eyes yet. But here in Detroit, everybody's aware of what this guy is capable of doing. No one can check him. No one can stop him. He gets whatever he wants when he wants it. Chauncey Billups, in my estimation, has to be heading for the All-Star game.
Well, and this is why a lot of people more and more in this town feel he is a serious MVP candidate. Look what he's done in the second half. We showed you earlier, he chose not to shoot much in the first half of 3 games in a row, but has lit him up in the second half. This is MVP type of stuff. And you're talking about, by far, the best team in the regular season of this campaign. He is the guy that's fueled them. Chauncey will be our post-game guest. You know, it's always a debate whether the MVP is the best player in the league or the best player on the best team. Well, maybe Ryan Field will ask Chauncey Billups if he's thinking about MVP in our DSR post-game. Miller. Give it up to Battier. Miller's going to try again. That time Ben says go ahead and take it. Damage has been done. 91-85, and Jackson quickly has to foul Billups. So Jackson picks up his 6th foul and is fouled out, and he's a hard-nosed defender.
Yeah, he is, but it doesn't really matter right now the way Chauncey Billups is playing. Bobby Jackson came back into the game early fourth quarter for the very purpose of trying to slow down Chauncey. Did not work. Did not happen.
So Billups for 2 more. Came in number 2 in the league in free throw percentage, passing up Steve Nash at 93%. He's 10 of 12 tonight. And of course, you know about his assist numbers being way up this year at 9 a game. Here comes the chant, MVP. You know what was coming. I don't care if you only want a ring. That's going to be music to the ears of any professional player. Atkins. Gasol turns.
You see what I'm saying? When Atkins right away, although it's, you know, not going to pay off tonight, but when Chucky Atkins is in the game, their half-court offense slows. He gets dribble penetration looking to pass, and that's not something that Bobby Jackson was able to provide for them. Plus, he wasn't able to stop Chauncey Billups.
Well, you nailed that early. 93-87 as Rip Hamilton will go to the line for 2. Chucky, a much improved quarterback. And I'm sure Larry Brown helped him in that development. He was known as a scoring point guard when he first came into the league as a free agent for Orlando.
Look at the assist total. Those 6 assists, by far, leads Memphis's team. And Chucky played barely 21 minutes in this game. He was better for their flow.
Pistons have to be careful here. You know what Atkins did the last time in here when he had 4 trays in a row. This is still only a 2-possession game pending this free throw. Tripp at least knocked that one down. 28.2 to go in a 20-second timeout. And this one's still not yet over. Again, stay tuned for all our post-game coverage on the DSR. This is the all-star guard vote. Iverson and Wade certainly will be starters. Vince Carter, you obviously think about him strongly, but Chauncey Billups, Richard Hamilton. We know, of course, about the talk in this town that they will be added by the coaches. You got to believe they certainly will, but Gilbert Arenas has been lighting it up all year. And it could mean Michael Redd being left out in the cold. But Richard Hamilton's numbers have been strong all year long. Look at the difference between Hamilton at 51% and Michael Redd at 45%. And Rip's defense has been the best of his career. So let's see what happens here in the final 28.2. The All-Star reserves will be announced, I believe it's February 9th. So we're a little ways away from that yet. Flick away momentarily by Billups. Atkins tries a tray. Rebound, Ben up high to knock it away from Gasol. And they are forced again to foul. This time it's Tayshaun Prince. Grizzlies have certainly fought the gallant fights. But down the stretch, again, the Pistons have shown their championship medal. So Tay with two coming. All the five starters with the exception of Ben Wallace, a double-figure scoring.
Fred, if the Pistons win this game, I mean, what is it going to do to that whole 35-5 thing? Now is the standard 36-5?
Yeah, for sure in this town, because the Tigers lost 3 in a row. That year they went 35-5, lost 3 in Seattle. Here comes Chucky on the hurry-up. Ben Wallace, his former Orlando teammate, was hounding him. Eddie Jones to the hole. They give him that one. 95-89. And Memphis concedes. The Pistons are 36-5 with a pulsating finish down the stretch, showing why they have the league's best record. A tremendous performance by Memphis, but it was not enough. We are not done yet. All our post